Over the last several games, the Dallas Mavericks have truly looked like a team that just made it to the NBA Finals and are fighting their way back to the next one. To start the season, we had a bunch of problems that are virtually non-existent. We play with more energy, we out-rebound our opponents, as well as we're making our threes. The Dallas Mavericks are in a great position, and this time last year, we were talking about who needs to be traded, who needs to be fired, how do you fix this team, and in February, Nico Harrison swung for the fences and got PJ Washington as well as Daniel Gafford. And even though the Dallas Mavericks are looking a lot better this year, a lot of people think that we could still improve just a little bit, and one player's name who keeps being brought up in the comment section has been Obi Toppin. So in this video, we're going to take a look at Obi Toppin, see how well he's been playing for the Indiana Pacers, how well he could play for the Dallas Mavericks, and what would it take to get him. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, our last video is currently sitting at 393 likes. We're probably at 400 by the time you've seen this video, which I appreciate greatly. But if you're enjoying all of the things that we do here, the live streams, the watch longs, the news vids, and everything else in between, make sure you drop a like on this video. Let's try to get to 400 likes and keep that thing moving. I appreciate it greatly. But the Dallas Mavericks are playing a very good brand of basketball. We're seeing a lot of these problems fixed from earlier in the season. More energy, more three-pointers made, and more rebounding. As well as we're seeing PJ Washington look like an amazing role player for us. Najee Marshall is looking like a Sixth Man of the Year candidate, while Quentin Grimes looks like he could replace Klay Thompson. The team is very, very deep, and once when Dante Exum comes back, we're going to look even better. Even Spencer Dinwiddie, off the bench, has looked amazing for this Dallas Mavericks team. But in the comment section and in some videos that we've made here, I've seen one name brought up a lot, and that is Obi Toppin. And a lot of people have agreed that we could still benefit from a trade by upgrading at our power forward position. Like I said earlier, PJ Washington is playing very, very good this year, but the drop-off between PJ to Maxi Kleber is a little bit too steep, and we could benefit from upgrading, but you don't want to do too much where you end up regretting that and feel like, man, we probably could have kept Maxi. But if we take a look at Obi Toppin, or this report here specifically saying, with forwards Obi Toppin and Jarris Walker, Indiana's 8th overall pick of the 2023 draft, stuck behind Pascal Siakam on the depth chart, there's a belief that Indiana could eventually part with one of the two, and I would be under the impression that they would most likely keep Jarris Walker as they just drafted him, and Obi Toppin is about 26 years old. He's not old by any means, but they want to keep their youth, that's for sure, as well as save up on money. Obi Toppin's making about $12 to $14 million a year, about $50 million a year, really. But if they do get rid of Obi Toppin, that could actually be beneficial for us. I mean, Larry Bird doesn't like making trades with the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas trades probably won't really ever go through, or they're going to just want too much. A lot of people in the Dorian Finney-Smith video did not want the idea of trading our first-round pick for Dorian Finney-Smith to even be a reality. So would a first-round pick for Obi Toppin be something better? I'm pretty sure no one wants to get rid of their first-round picks, especially for a backup power forward or a backup anybody, unless you're a six-man coming off the bench right away, and I understand that for sure. But let's take a look at Obi Toppin's stats and see how well he's actually been playing. And for this season, he's averaging 9.7 points per game, as well as 3.7 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 0.4 blocks, 0.6 steals, 0.7 turnovers, as well as 1.3 fouls per game. He's shooting 53% from the field, as well as 30% from three. 6'9" power forward. He's obviously known to just jump out the gym, getting a good amount of blocks. I mean, he's only averaging 0.4 blocks per game, but he is able to contest at the rim. He shoots 33% on corner threes, 90% of his threes are assisted, and 44% of all the shots are threes. And for these stats for a backup power forward, it's pretty good. The 9 points, amazing. We need more scoring off the bench. And the rebounds, 3.7. I mean, that's an upgrade from Maxi Kleber. It's not really near PJ Washington's level, but for a backup power forward, why not? And I did ask you guys, who were you most likely to want on the Dallas Mavericks if we had to make a trade? Obviously, the majority of you guys wanted Dorian Finney-Smith. I voted for Obi Toppin. Larry Nance Jr., I think, is another player that this team could definitely benefit from, but I think Obi Toppin would actually be a pretty decent fit for this Dallas Mavericks team, and maybe not in the way that we all think. Obviously, Maxi Kleber is a very, very good defender, and he does provide a small ball lineup option for us. And without Maxi Kleber, if we did trade for Obi Toppin, we don't have that. Maxi Kleber's length and size is what helps us play small ball. That's why we play Maxi Kleber late in some games and in certain lineups where people, and myself included, are wondering, where's Daniel Gafford? Where's Derrick Lively? Why are we closing out a game with Maxi? It's because of his defense, and a lot of times the stat sheets don't show it, the box scores won't show it, sometimes the eye test won't show it, but the advanced stats do show it as well. And just to show that and use that as proof that Maxi does have some value still on this team, we're going to have a little comparison, Maxi and Obi Toppin. If I showed you this and said which one would you rather have, you'd probably say Obi Toppin. He's averaging more points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. His field goal percentage is better. His three-point percentage is better. His free throw percentage is better. All these stats are better. And he's only averaging 3 more minutes per game than Maxey. So relatively speaking, they're playing roughly, we're going to just average it. They're roughly playing the same amount of minutes, and Obi Toppin is producing in every single stat more than Maxey. But it's not that important to the Dallas Mavericks that we have a power forward off the bench who can score more or who can get steals more. I mean, the steals, the blocks, the rebounds, that's great. And the scoring would be amazing. But what Maxey provides goes beyond just your average stats. And I know that we've talked about trading Maxey. I made a video about upgrading from Maxey. Yes, if we can get an upgrade for Maxey, you definitely do that. But you don't want to sacrifice the defense. The offense is there. The offense is there. When this team is fully healthy, we have a very deep bench. We have Gafford or Lively, depending who's starting. We do have Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes off the bench. We do have Jaden Hardy as well as Spencer Dinwiddie. We do have players off the bench that are able to score. We need more versatile players, not more players that all do the same thing. And if we take a look right here, these are more advanced stats, and I'll drop a link to where I found this in the description below. But in the first half, it's obviously favoring Obi Toppin. That's the offensive stats, and these are advanced offensive stats. But at the bottom half, that's where Maxey really shines. And I've said it many times. Maxey may not just pop out on the box score with a bunch of rebounds, a bunch of blocks and steals. And even watching Maxey, you may not understand what he's doing. But the advanced stats will always favor Maxey as a defender. And this right here shows that he is a better defender than Obi Toppin. Even he has a better defensive rating, only about by 3 or 4 points, than Obi Toppin. So if we were to make a trade for Obi Toppin, you would do it because you need someone who can score off the bench. We all know that Obi Toppin is an amazing dunker. He's a high flyer. The man's got crazy hops. So getting someone that can easily cut to the basket, easily do a pick and roll, a smaller pick and roll. I mean, we know how the Dallas Mavericks love to just throw lobs. Everybody catches lobs. And getting Obi Toppin, yeah, there you go. You have another lob threat. A lot of people would say that he's akin to a Derrick Jones Jr., a high flyer who can also score. But the difference is that Obi Toppin just wouldn't be that good of a defender. Not even close to Maxey, let alone Derrick Jones Jr. If we got Obi Toppin maybe a year or two ago, sure, we could try and mold him into that point of attack defender that everybody wants. But it just isn't that for the Dallas Mavericks. If you trade Maxey for Obi Toppin, you're sacrificing a taller forward who can defend centers, who can defend other power forwards, for someone who's really just going to defend wings and smaller guards, who can be somewhat of a paint presence because he can jump so high and he's that athletic, and he can definitely score off the bench. But I personally would rather keep the defense in Maxey and try to find a better upgrade, or just keep Maxey. If you can try and get Obi Toppin and keep Maxey, you definitely do that. That would definitely be amazing if Maxey was our third string power forward. And Obi Toppin's only making about $15 million a year, so you definitely have to finesse that somehow on how to keep both players, which I highly doubt. But all in all, I think I'd much rather have Maxey just purely for the defense, because the stats show Maxey is a much better defender than Obi Toppin. But if you want someone to fill out the stat sheet, coming off the bench, 20 minutes a game, putting up 9 points, 3 rebounds, then yeah, you go with Obi Toppin. You get more traditional production. But come playoff time, I would much rather have Maxey. If we're up against teams where we need to go small, or we need to play 5 out, or we need PJ can't guard their center at the small ball 5, let's put in Maxey. Yes, you put in Maxey. If you're going to get upgrade from Maxey, you're going to need someone who can also defend centers, and that's just not Obi Toppin. I mean, Maxey's taller than Obi. Obi's about 6'7". He does have a longer wingspan. He has a 7-foot wingspan. But that's just not with this Dallas Mavericks team. You're essentially getting another Najee Marshall, which I'm fine with Najee. I'm totally cool with what we got with Najee. And just more stats here that I found pretty interesting is this right here. The red is Maxey and the blue is Obi Toppin. Both play the power forward position, but they're both used completely different. Maxey is obviously guarding more centers and power forwards, where Obi Toppin is more so on power forwards and small forwards, more so on the wings. And at least how we utilize him, Maxey is used as a spot-up shooter and a rebounder, where Obi Toppin is used more so just to cut. Now, if we could find a better spot-up shooter and a better rebounder, that's the upgrade that you want. But to get a direct replacement to Maxi Kleber, unfortunately, that would not be Obi Toppin, unless you just want to change everything that we do from that position when we go from PJ to the backup. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think that Obi Toppin is the backup that we need? He is the trade target that we should go after? Or do you think that there's someone else, or maybe you just don't want to trade? Let's not talk about trades. You think that we're perfect as is. Let me know in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for making this far into the video. Make sure you check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a giveaway every single month on this channel. The only way to enter our giveaways is to become a channel member of any tier. But till next time, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.